There's no denying that Red Dead 2 is a large game, so large that even people with hundreds of hours of playtime can encounter locations they've never seen before. But new discoveries in this game needn't be limited to UFO sightings and Bigfoot mysteries. Much of the unknown parts of the game lie not in its vast landscape, but rather in the mechanics that Rockstar implemented and were always available to you. And today, we're going to look at 8 of these interesting things that you probably didn't know you could do in Red Dead 2. Number 1. Rest at shops. Games you play typically throw realism out the window. Mario breaks physics with double jumps. The Witcher 3 makes you attractive to women, and Skyrim has affordable housing. But Red Dead 2 does away with many of these unrealistic aspects, and instead opts to be as true to reality as it can, without turning into Wild West Simulator 2018. But this can be pretty annoying when you're trying to gear up for your next hunt or stocking on food, only to find that you have to wait until the next day to do your shopping. Luckily, Rockstar added a convenient way to amend this issue. Simply walk up to the closed store's doors and you'll get a prompt to wait until it opens its doors again. From there, you can buy, break, or steal to your heart's content. Number 2. Sink ships. For many, the Red Dead series is merely GTA in the Wild West, but many subtle elements differ, which accumulate in the two franchises, differing pretty substantially. A key example is how the map is designed, where the GTA series is set on one big island, so that the games dive deeper into the endless sandbox reputation they're known for. Red Dead 2 has a much more realistic approach to their landscape and doesn't shy away from invisible walls. As a result, Red Dead 2 has virtually zero interaction with the water outside of rivers and canals. Because of this, you may think that the ships you can find in the sea are nothing more than set dressing, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Not only can some of these steamboats be ridden, to a certain limit of course, but they're also susceptible to your antics. For example, if you happen to come across a Civil War cannon that's conveniently pointing towards a flock of ships and then doing the natural thing and trying to blow them up, you'll find that they're quite vulnerable to these large cannonballs and will promptly sink. I don't even think there's a place where you can legitimately do this without cheats, so the only reason Rockstar would add this is because they're insane and refuse to create a world where everything isn't interactive. Thanks, Rockstar. Number 3. Stare down bears. Aside from the plague and lumbago, few forces in Red Dead's world are as dangerous and terrifying as the bears. These carnivorous creatures will waste no time turning Arthur or John into midday snacks. And unless you got a horse that trusts you handy, running away from these beasts is, to a bear, what a sizzling piece of T-bone is to us humans. So, you're left with 2 options. Accept the fact that all of your life decisions amounted to being a bear's lunch, or rain hell onto the creature with all the bullets and Molotovs at your disposal. However, there is a third way of dealing with bears that goes under people's radar. Like real life, bears in Red Dead 2 respect one thing: balls of steel. When a bear begins to chase you down, do not flee. Instead, stare it down with every last drop of your bravery and wait as the bear comes to a screeching halt at the last minute. Then enjoy the bear's rotten salmon breath for a few seconds until it decides you're not worth the hassle. If you did everything successfully, then the bear should walk away, and your limbs should be very much intact with the rest of your body. Number 4. Feed pigs human bodies. Since we're already feeling generous towards the animal kingdom, we should pay back the food debt that we denied the bear. While Arthur can gorge on all the canned food and gourmet meals he pleases, pigs need to have the tucker too. All you need to do is find the nearest O'Driscoll and introduce his brain to your bullets. From there, you only need to pick up his body, take him to your nearest pig farm, and throw it in the middle of the pack. Then simply bask in the almost ritualistic way these pigs congregate to the body and begin chowing down. Is it tasty? Probably. Is it humane? Probably not. Is it a good way of disposing of witnesses? Absolutely. Number 5. Fish with dynamite. For many, fishing is the best pastime you can ask for. You get serene views, calm oceans, and the rush of kidnapping a fish from its colony and roasting it for consumption. But for many more, fishing is work. work that determines whether or not you're going to be getting any food that day. If that's the case, then it's only natural that you'll want to be as efficient as possible. While we can't use fishing nets, we do have the next best thing: dynamite. That's right, all you need to do is grab a handful of these bad boys, find a nearby pond, and begin turning their colony into a war zone. Your honor will go down and the equality will be terrible, but at least you have a small population's worth of fish in your pocket, ready to cook and eat whenever needed. Number 6. Fast skinning. One of the most controversial elements of Red Dead 2 is how it tries to make things as realistic as possible and possibly goes a bit overboard with it. Don't get me wrong, the fact that there's an animation for opening each cabinet and picking up every item is incredible and immersive enough to make the most hardcore of Skyrim modders salivate. But Red Dead 2 is a long game. While it might be cool seeing it for the first few times, by the time you come around to your 80th hour, you're just in a full min-max mode and want to get things done as quickly as possible. Thankfully, there is a little trick to do just that. Instead of skinning an animal on the spot, call your trusty steed over and drop the animal next to it. From there, you simply do the deeds and watch as a fallback animation plays, as Arthur can't realistically do the normal animation without clipping through the horse. This old trick dates back to the days of the first Red Dead Redemption and has saved the time of countless players since. This time, the time has come to save your time from this time-consuming animation. Could you tell I really like the word time? Number 7. Sit at a cliffside. People play Red Dead 2 for a lot of reasons. Some want to pretend that they have a social life, others want to ruin their social lives with Red Dead Online, and many just want a relaxing experience to wind down after a long day. But even the virtual road of Red Dead 2 can be just as fast-paced as the real deal. So, what's the solution? Go back to destroy a planet's ecosystem in Minecraft? Rockstar has a better idea in mind. One of the most serene spots in the game is the cliffsides. Not only do they sport an incredible view of the game's 5 states, but they're also far, far away from the hustle and bustle of civilization. But it's not just you that needs a rest. After all, Arthur's been doing all the heavy lifting while you've been pushing buttons on a controller. Thankfully, Rockstar was a little more accommodating to Mr. Morgan, at least until they gave him death by a whooping cough anyway. Across the map, you'll find a variety of scenic views where you can take a seat on the edge of a cliff, bridge, or train track. Be careful with the last one. The game never tells you this, and it almost looks like it was modded in, but it's here nonetheless, and a perfect place to take a break from all the looting, shooting, and tooting. Number 8. Study animals. While the milquetoast among you will think that Red Dead 2 is a game about outlaws, betrayal and redemption, the more refined among us know that it's really a hunting game where you happen to play as a wanted criminal. Rockstar worked tirelessly to create realistic behaviors, tracking mechanics, and an entire compendium for you to build. There are also a variety of weapons that were made specifically for hunting games, big and small. But if the idea of hunting, skinning and cooking is too much for you, then you can play the role of an observer instead. The next time you encounter prey, take out your binoculars instead of your hunting rifle, and you should get an option to study the animal instead. Not only does this build up your compendium, but it also keeps you on the side of vegans, which might not be saying much in 1899, but at least you can't say Arthur wasn't progressive. If you want to, you can channel your inner National Geographic photographer and begin taking snapshots with your pocket camera. First it was staring down bears, then feeding pigs. Now this? Arthur is truly becoming one with the animal kingdom.